Edge comes out at the beginning, and he brings up Dominik and has known Dominik since he was 5 years old. I've stayed at your home in San Diego. Me and Ray have gotten tattoos together. Actually, they got ink together. And he talked down Dom after his first match, as he was getting ready last year for his first match in front of a live crowd. You felt like a nephew to me, but Dominik doesn't feel the same way about me. He apologized for the spear a couple of weeks ago, and he didn't come back here to get between father and son. And he takes the blame for the Judgment Day trying to ruin the Mysterios' lives. But Dominik, I'm looking at you not as a 5-year-old kid, but as a WWE superstar, and I'm going to beat your ass. So he calls out Dominik, and Ray comes out, and he's holding his heart. He's just, Edge, please. And he knows that Dominik messed up, and he's asking for an apology on behalf of Dominik. Edge says Dominik is old enough to stand for his actions. So that prompts Rhea Ripley to come out saying she saw the potential in Dominik, and she made him into a man. And there walks out Dominik, all in black, hair is slicked back. Dude, I just thought this look perfect.
Yeah, it's not quite, full on Eddie Guerrero, LWO with a goatee or anything, but I think for the Judgment Day, it is perfect. I suppose like membership in the Judgment Day requires like, a significant amount of hair gel in your, entrance package here. But he looks awesome. Like he looks awesome because of how he looked before. Like in our enjoyment of Dominik Mysterio, there is like a little hint of irony, but I also think this is actually great storytelling.
So Ray is pleading for his son to snap out of it. Come make things right with Edge. And Ray just says, I don't want to be a part of this. And he goes down to the floor. He looks at Dominik. Dominik won't even look at him. The crowd is chanting Eddie's son at Dominik. And Ray just walks to the back, a defeated man. And Edge is awaiting him to come into the ring when Balor and Priest storm the ring, attacking him, and Dominik joins in, chop blocking the knee. And then Ray returns, and they won't let him help Edge. Ripley then drills him, sends him into the steps. There's a South of Heaven on Edge, and then a coup de grace onto the chair on top of Edge, and Dominik leaves with the Judgment Day, and the big attack was on Edge's knee, as it almost felt like this was like his latest write-off, but he will be coming back next week where they will do Dominik versus Edge to combat Monday Night Football's return.
Right, yeah. Can you imagine that sentence, like 3 weeks ago even. But to me, this is now the hottest program in at least Raw, maybe even in the WWE. I thought that this was a tremendous follow-up to the angle coming off of Saturday, starting off with a great monologue from Edge, who I think very clearly and very cleanly in concise fashion outlined his history with the Mysterio family and with Dominik. It all sounded incredibly real because I have no doubt that a lot of what he said was real. I'm sure he did shoot like pea shooters in the back with Dominik. He probably did actually, stay at the Mysterio's home whenever they toured in San Diego, and just kind of like
got ink together.
Got ink together, yeah, and just the inclusion of some of those details, I think already injects this story with so much depth off the bat because you're playing off of reality. And he accomplished all of this in the span of this kind of 3 to 4 minute promo. Grew up with the kid. He looked at him like a nephew, and I'm going to treat him like a man now because he's of age and I'm going to beat his ass. Like Edge, I thought was great. You had, you sort of our follow up in our introduction to Rey Mysterio's mentality in the midst of all this. And he, I think very believably, plays a father who is torn. There's nothing in the world he will do to ever turn on his son. So he still will have all the faith of the world in his son, while at the same time he's incredibly apologetic to what is arguably what feels like a close personal friend now in Edge. So I think his motivation is actually very full of character and full of story and depth, and I thought he did really well. I also love how restrained they were with Dominik's involvement in the physical altercations. They didn't have Dominik directly attack Ray here, nor did he, deliver the killing blow directly to Edge with the chair. I think that might be to come, but for today, this to me is almost like it's a classic Star Wars turning to the dark side type of story where they're still keeping small hints of hope within Dominik that there's still good within him. And they're slowly turning him or at least like slowly playing with sort of like his conversion to the dark side, so to speak.
It's probably a great person in Edge to have as his opponent next week, because Dominik has to change his style dramatically to work as a heel. The big handicap though is that, as a heel, like, he works fine as a babyface, and he kind of like plays off of Ray in a tag. In a singles match, like, dude, he is dwarfed by these guys on the roster. Like, he is a small guy, and
he has height though. He has like a decent height. Like him next to Balor is like, I believe he's taller than Finn Balor.
Well, I just
but he
next
doesn't have
to Edge,
the body.
It's very interesting to see how they will adjust that part, because we've never seen this guy work as a heel.
But he's also got like the 4-on-1 advantage, so I think that'll be enough to probably make the match work. There's like Dominik Mysterio, I think for a lot of people is just like ill-equipped, I will say, to become like sort of a WWE wrestler, because there's anti-charisma about him, which obviously, John, you and I are big fans of. And as a babyface, like, it really at best makes him a generic babyface that could get by with like tag team matches with his dad. As a heel though, I actually think it's a perfect type of performance for this role, where he has to basically be emotionless as he turns off his mind as he's watching his father get beaten up. Like, I think they perfectly crafted a character for Dominik's limitations as an actor, for instance.